Hello and welcome back to yet another Mech Deck Tech. Today we have another Marvel Secret Lair drop commander build featuring Captain America First Avenger. This Jeskai commander is a 4/4 with two different abilities. The first is to throw, where he unattaches an equipment that's attached to him, dealing damage equal to its mana value divided among up to 3 targets of your choice. The second ability is Catch, which allows him to automatically attach an equipment at the start of combat, cheating those pesky equip costs. So, naturally, the way I think everyone's building Cap is basically as a Voltron commander, right? We're going to have a ton of equipments in this stack, we're going to have a fair bit of equipment support, and as always, we're keeping a budget with no card being over $10. That being said, I think we are going to start with the equipment and then go into our equipment support, so let's get started. Starting off big with the Argentum Armor. This is a 6-cost equipment that is normally 6 to equip, but of course we're cheating that out. It gives the equipped creature +6/+6, as well as, on attack, destroy a target permanent. So, Cap's getting beefy, he's throwing around big damage, and, on attack, we're blowing up key pieces of synergy for our opponents. Following that up, we have the Basilisk Collar. So Basilisk Collar is much more on the budget side mana-wise, right? It's 1 mana to play, 2 to equip, gives the equipped creature lifelink and death touch, making it so when we go ahead and throw that equipment around, we're going to be destroying every creature we hit. Bladehold War Whip is up next. This is also pretty budget in terms of the mana to cast it, only being 3. It does have for Mirrodin, so it is going to let us go ahead and create a 2/2 Rebel, which auto-equips to this whip. The equipped creature is going to have double strike, and this also acts as a nice little reduction for the rest of our equipment costs. So, pretty nice. The equipment cost on it is 5, which is crazy high, but I think the mana reduction kind of makes up for it. And the fact that we're cheating it onto Cap gets around that kind of high cost for us. Brass Knuckles. So Brass Knuckles is a 4-cost. It's going to go ahead and create a copy of itself on cast. Then, once we have at least 2 equipment on the equipped creature, that creature has double strike. Brotherhood Regalia. So a little unblock ability for us. This is a 2-cost. It comes in, gives our equipped creature a ward, turns them into an assassin, and makes them unblockable. Caduceus Staff of Hermes. I might be butchering that a little bit, but you'll forgive me. This is a 3-cost equipment that goes ahead and gives the equipped creature lifelink. As long as our life is 30 or higher, which in Commander, it starts out that high. The equipped creature is going to get +5/+5 and be indestructible, as well as preventing all damage dealt to them. Chariot of Victory is up next. This is a 3-cost old school equipment, 1 to equip, but it gives the equipped creature First Strike, Trample, and Haste. Dissection Tools, right? We're on the other end of the spectrum. We're very new school, basically just came out. So this is a 5-cost equipment. Whenever it enters, we get a Manifest Dread and auto-attach the equipment to whatever creature we manifested. Then, the equipped creature gets +2/+2, Death Touch, and Lifelink. Normally, the equip cost is to sacrifice a creature, but again, thanks to Cap's ability to catch any equipment on the field for us, bam, auto-equip. No need to sack creatures, because we don't have that many. Ember Cleave. This is another biggin, right? So this is a 6-cost normally. It does have some cost reduction built in based on the number of creatures we have that are attacking. It will auto-equip when it enters the battlefield, as well as offer up +1/+1, double strike, and trample, making Cap pretty quick to go ahead and just basically one-shot our opponents. Gorgon's Head. So Gorgon's Head is super cheap, right? We're kind of trying to strike that balance here. So it's 1 to play, 2 to equip, and offers up Death Touch. Not quite as nice as the Basilisk Collar, which also offers up that lifelink with it, but I feel like Death Touch with Cap and his ability to throw equipment really makes it so we kind of want to keep doing it. Hammer of Nazans. This is a 4-cost equipment, 4 to equip normally. Whenever it or another equipment enters the battlefield under our control, we can auto-attach it to any creature we want, and it gives the creature equipped with it +2/+0 and indestructible. Haunted Cloak. So this is going to give Vigilance, which is great, right? We're definitely in a Voltron-y kind of build, and we want to keep up Cap as both a defender as well as an attacker. In addition to that, he's getting more trample and more haste, all of which are top-notch for us, along with Helm of the Host. So Helm of the Host is okay with Cap. And you might be thinking, Mac, why is Helm of the Host in here? Is it really doing that much with Captain America? And the answer is, well, 1, it's giving us creatures, right? So even if we have it equipped to Cap, on the cheap, right? Because normally it's 5 to equip. We're going to get some extra dudes, a little bit of extra bodies to kind of like help defend ourselves. And, you know, we have a little surprise for later that's going to make it so it makes total sense. Cauldron complete. So this is a 7 cost living weapon, so it's going to come in with a germ equipped to it automatically. It's indestructible. It gives the equipped creature +5/+5, first strike, trample, indestructible, and whenever it deals damage to a creature, exile that creature. Up next is Leyline Axe, so the newest card that's in the deck. So Leyline Axe is a 4 cost, but if it's in your opening hand, you get to just cheat it out. It's normally 3 to equip, but of course with Cap, we're going to try and cheat that on. It gives the equipped creature +1/+1, double strike, and trample. Double strike trample with Cap is going to be huge. We're buffing them up constantly with all these various equipments, and they're going to go a long way. We're of course running those lightning greaves, got to have your Jordans on, make sure you're hasty and a little shroudy. And obviously Shroud could be a little bit of a problem for our own deck because we are kind of going Voltron, but you know, we do have a handful of other creatures that we could kind of bounce these back and forth between. Loxodon Warhammer. So this is a 3 cost, gives +3/+0 trample lifelink. We can never have enough trample in this deck. Trample damage is definitely how we're going to effectively win this game. And the lifelink isn't anything to sneeze at. Up next is Mirror Shield. So Mirror Shield, in my opinion, is kind of a must-have for us, right? Yes, we have a lot of double strike and even some first strike in here that are going to help us get around all of the death touch that our opponents may or may not have. But Mirror Shield says, hey, we're going to give you hexproof if you go to block or become blocked by a death toucher, that thing dies instantly. So, pretty good for us. Mjolnir Storm's Hammer, or Stormhammer rather. So this is a 4 cost, auto equips to a legendary whenever it enters, which is nice. And whenever the equipped creature attacks, we get to tap down some boys, throw some stun counters on them, and deal damage equal to the number of tapped creatures to, you know, an opponent. So a little bit of extra damage there. That's straight out of the Assassin's Creed. Plate Armor is up next. So this is offering us a little bit of ward with +1, just ward 1 rather, +3/+3, which isn't bad, and the ability cost less for each equipment already on the field. This is a little bit of protection. It's very budget. Again, if we were going for like big expensive things, you know, we could get crazy, have all the swords of, but that's just not where we are. We are, however, running Quietus Spike. So Quietus Spike is death touch, and if we make contact, bam, half your life gone. Quietus Spike will never win the game, right? But it will speed up the process to us wiping out an opponent. We are running one of the swords, and that's the Sword of War and Peace in the form of Shield of War and Peace, which came in the Secret Lair. Whenever the equipped creature deals combat damage to that player, we're going to go ahead and deal damage to them equal to the number of cards in their hand, while we gain life equal to the number of cards in our own hand. Swiftfoot Boots follows that up, and this is kind of better for us than the Lightning Greaves we saw earlier because it gives Hexproof instead of Shroud. So it's safer, right? We're able to keep it on our boy all day and still equip him with whatever we want. Another one of the swords that happens to be budget enough, and that's the Sword of Forge and Frontier. So this gives us another little bit of protection. This is red and green, so we have a little bit of overlap with the red. And whenever we deal damage, we get to basically have a little bit of impulse draw, which I'm happy with. Sword of the Animist is here for ramping. So +1/+1, which is fine. Whenever we attack, we get to look for 2 basic lands, send them onto the battlefield tapped, and basically thin out our deck, let us go ahead and find as many equipments as possible, such as the Sword of Vengeance. So Sword of Vengeance is 3 to play, equipped creature gets +2/+0, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste. Word salad, basically. 3 to equip, but super budget, and therefore super easy to include. As is Tenza Goto's Maul. So this is a 3 cost equipment, +1/+1 as long as it's legendary, which Cap is, +2/+2 in addition if they're red, which Cap is, as well as being trample. We like Cap being a trample boy, and that's the way we're going to go with it. Following that up, we have the Key to the Vault. So this is a Thunder Junction card, 2 to play, legendary artifact equipment. Whenever we deal damage with the equipped creature, we get to look at that many cards off the top. We get to choose a non-land from among them, and basically cast it for free. So a good way of basically cheating out big equipments, any other kind of like, you know, creatures or supports that we want. We should be hitting pretty big with Cap all the time, so this is good for us. Following that up, we have the Reaver Cleaver. So Reaver Cleaver is +1/+1 trample, and it's going to make us a bunch of treasures. Just 2 more, and then we'll get into some support stuff with the Thran Power Suit. So it's going to give +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached, which is great, as well as Ward 2. Last of our equipments that are all budget is Vorak Battle Horns. So trample and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Right? They don't get to stack up a bunch of bodies and try and prevent damage. Our trample damage is getting through. It's getting through hard and fast. Let's get into that support, and the support I'm referring to first is Mantle of the Ancients. So this is a 5-cost enchantment aura, which is going to grab all of our enchantments and auras, or not enchantments and auras rather, but our auras and equipments from the grave, slam it back onto the field attached to whatever this aura is enchanted on. That creature will always be Cap, and basically makes it so if someone plays an artifact board wipe and really resets our board, it's not a big deal. We're going to get them back, we're going to hit hard, we're going to hit fast. Up next in our support is Training Grounds. So the activated abilities of creatures we control cost 2 less. Now, this is mainly so we can throw equipment at our opponents and laugh all day. So instead of paying 3, we're paying 1. We're getting good value. Forge Anew follows that up. So this is a 3-cost enchantment. When it enters, we do get to cheat an equipment back from grave to field. We could activate our equipments on our turn at instant speed, and the first time we do, we could do a 0 instead of whatever the normal cost is. So that's pretty nice. Fighter Class. Fighter Class is an excellent tutor for us, right? 2 mana, lets us go and grab an equipment, put it in our hand. We can level it up to level 2. Equip abilities cost 2 less. Again, pretty nice. We could also level it all the way up, and then on attack, we get to force a creature to block our creature. Another good way of taking out any creature-based threats with our large and in charge Captain America. Last of the enchantment support is Captain America's Aid, also known as Sigarda's Aid. So, it's excellent, comes in for 1 mana. We get to cast auras and equipments at flash speed. Whenever an equipment or aura enters the battlefield, bam, auto-equip, and we're good to go. Moving way up into our sorceries, we have the Steel Shaper's Gift. So this is 1 white. Go ahead and just tutor for any, equipment you want. Put it in your hand. Good to go. Open the Armory is in a similar spot. It does cost 1 more, but it could also find us auras, so it could find us that Mantle of the Ancients should our board have just been wiped. Stonehewer Giant is up next. They're a 5-cost 4/4 Vigilant Giant Warrior. For 1 and a white, we could tap them down, go tutor up any equipment we want, slam it onto the battlefield, and attach it to a creature that we control. So, hey Cap, are you looking for this very specific thing and you want it on you immediately? Bam, got it. Shram Senior Edificer. So this is a 2-cost 2/2. Whenever we cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle, we get to draw a card. Keeping our hand full, we're casting these things all the time, so it should be pretty good. Of course, no equipment deck is complete without a Pure Steel Paladin to make it so all the equip costs are 0. Nahiri, Forged in Fury. So Nahiri Forged in Fury is a 6-cost 5/4 with affinity for equipment. So we're almost always getting them out for much less, ideally just those 2, but, I digress. Whenever an equipped creature we control attacks, we get to exile the top card of our library. We can play that card this turn. We can cast equipment this way for free. Kellen, the Fey Blooded. So this is a 3-cost 2/2. They have Birthright Boon as an adventure, so we can go ahead and tutor ourselves up an aura or equipment, put it in our hand. They also have Double Strike, and other creatures we control get +1/+0 for everything equipped or enchanted to him. This next card is why we included the Helm of the Host. It's Godo Bandit Warlord. Godo Bandit Warlord combined with Helm of the Host is just winning, right? So Godo's going to go ahead and give us infinite extra combats and let us rock this game. Xanatha Compassion Paragon. 3-cost 2/2 First Strike Vigilance Lifelink. Reduces all of our equip costs, which is pretty nice. Delicos Crafter of Wonders. So this is a 3-cost 2/4. They could tap down to add 2 colorless mana, which we could only spend to cast or activate the abilities of artifact spells. Codsworth Handy Helper. This is a 3 cost 2/3. It's going to go ahead and give our commander Ward 2, which we like. We could tap them down to generate 2 white mana, which we could use to cast auras and equipments. We could tap them down to attach a target aura or equipment we control to a creature we control. We can only do so at sorcery speed, but it still feels pretty strong to me. Brunor Battlehammer. So this is a 4 cost 5/3. Our equipped creatures are going to get +2/+0 for everything attached to them, and our first equip of every turn is 0. Armored Sky Hunter. This is a flying 3/3 for 4 mana. Whenever it attacks, we get to look at the top 6 cards of our library, grab an equipment or aura from among them, slam it onto the battlefield. Then we get to attach it, and basically shuffle the rest away. So a good way of, again, continuously kind of cheating out extra equipments for Cap to have, beefing up even more and more, having things to throw around, it's a good time. Ardent Intrepid Archaeologist. This is a 2/2 for 3. Beginning of combat on our turn, we can attach any number of auras and or equipment we control to target permanent. Akiri Fearless Voyager is last, but certainly not least. They are a 3/3 for 3. Whenever we attack with an equipped creature, we get to go ahead and draw a card. And for 1 white, and unattaching an equipment from a creature we control, we'll tap our own creature down, but make it indestructible, making it certain that we're going to protect Cap at all times. Now, guys, as always, this is a budget build. Are there a ton of, very expensive cards you could put in this deck to ensure that, it's more powerful? Absolutely. But we here like to keep it budget, make it so our wallets aren't crying when we build these decks. If we were doing an upgrade guide, we'd have some honorable mentions of things that didn't quite make the cut. But I'm actually going to leave that to you, right? What expensive cards do you feel are worth the money to add to this kind of deck? Let me know in the comment section down below. But as always, I'm Mechanized Minion, the Energy King, and if you felt like you got value out of this video, you just want to hang out and see more of this beautiful face, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do all the algorithm things. Leave my videos playing in the background. Help me grow. But until next time, good luck with your builds.